Hello, everyone. It is Tracy coming to you live again from New Hampshire Writers Project headquarters. And I am here this time with Rodger Martin. How are you, Rodger?
I'm very good, surviving the snow, and I see the sun has just come out, so it's looking beautiful.
Love it. Love it. Glad that we've got some nice white stuff on the snow
Yeah,
there, on the ground there in time for Christmas, which is good.
yeah, that
So,
helps.
Rodger is the author of The Sleeping Dogs of Lubec, which is his fifth book of poetry. And he is also a member of New Hampshire Writers Project and also featured in our holiday showcase, which is on our website. And it is a wonderful collection of over 55 of our members and their books, all highlighted for the holidays, supporting the literary community, all kinds of great gifts waiting for you to check out and hopefully send to a book lover in your life. So what we're going to do at this hour is we're going to learn a little bit more about Rodger and his book and his inspiration behind it so that you can learn a little bit more and go to the holiday showcase on our website and purchase that for someone in your life. So Rodger, before we jump into it, tell us a little bit about yourself and your I mean, this is your fifth book. So tell us a little bit about your writing career.
Well, words have always been pretty much a part of my life. When I found out I couldn't hit a curveball in baseball, I loved to write, and I thought, well, let's see how that goes. And so, poetry, fiction. I also work as a journalist and an editor. So for decades, my life has revolved around words, with poetry being my passion out of all those words. And so the way I do books, I guess, is I don't particularly set out with a theme, but I noticed over the years that dogs kept showing up in poems that I was writing about. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. What's going on there? And one year recently, we took our English setter Molly to Lubec, Maine, and where the seals would come right up. And Molly is vivacious, and those seals were vivid. It was as if they were brothers and sisters.
Huh.
And I thought, oh my goodness. And that got me to putting the book together with all the poems that I had that had a dog somewhere in them. It doesn't mean the poems are about dogs, but dogs appear.
Okay.
So that's how it began.
Well, so then that explains the picture of the seals on the cover.
Yes, those
Which is a
seals.
beautiful photo. Yeah, I love that. And
Yeah, that
Lubec,
was
Maine, what a beautiful place.
right. Lubec is. I try to get there at least once a year
Oh, I'm
because
jealous.
it's right up there on the Canadian border, and it really just a refreshing place to
I
be.
agree. Isn't that in the Atlantic time zone?
No, across the river, the
Oh,
bay.
okay. Okay.
It's
Campobello
Atlantic
Island.
time zone, but they're still in Maine,
Oh,
so
okay.
they keep Eastern Standard Time. So you have to be careful because the cell phone coverage comes from Canada, so it's always an hour different.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yes, because there are not many people in that part of Down East Maine.
Okay. I
So
can
most of
imagine.
their infrastructure, a lot of it is out of Canada.
Well, tell me a little bit more about the canine inspiration for your poems, because I think I read too somewhere that there was a little bit of feline inspiration. Is that true?
Uh, I noticed that I had at least one cat in a poem, and I felt an obligation that that I should have at least one cat poem to let people know that I do
Absolutely.
care about. So
Yeah.
there is one, but the dog and the cat are in there, and so that was sort of on purpose because I got to feeling bad after. Where are the cats? Because I also love cats. Uh, but basically, I think the idea of, at least in Anglo-Saxon, dog and God are what they call semi-ordinalap, which is the technical term for a word spelled backwards, spells another
Mm-hmm.
word. Uh, Semi-ordinalap is also palindrome if it's spelled backwards. So some expert somewhere was having some fun with that naming. Uh, anyway, it just struck me that there is a really, in Anglo-Saxon language, a strong unconscious connection between God and dog, and I felt that really is something I wanted to explore,
Hmm.
And it's not always in a good way. It's not always in a happy way. There are lighthearted poems in the book, and there's some pretty heavy stuff in the book as well.
Interesting.
But I mean, that's all part of our life that we deal with. And I think dogs, in many ways, are a help in getting through all that.
Oh, absolutely. I would agree. Well, you must have a favorite poem in this book, I'm assuming.
Uh, I have a number of them, but why don't I do the title poem where
Yeah,
the
please.
well, it's not it's called the Night Seals of Lubec. Um,
Okay.
so uh, at witching hour, summer rain patters on the wharf. Fog drifts in and out to a tide just before change. The seals glide to the landing, ease themselves from the water. Respectful of whiskers, they nuzzle with their brothers, the sleeping dogs of Lubec, remind them of kinship. Then, through the open windows of the town, the seals silently enter the bedrooms of sleepers. The dogs of Lubec curl contentedly on the floor, while the seals whisper in the ears of dreamers who've mastered the seas at midnight and charted the oceans of the past. Then, silky as they had arrived, the seals leave the sleepers for dawn, gather again at the edge of harbor, nuzzle again with their brothers, and depart. When the children wake, they speak of graceful dives through sun-greened kelp. Their elders wake to puzzlement at a thin film of water on tiles that lead to open windows.
That's beautiful. Very visual. I could paint the picture in my mind. I love it.
Thank you. It is based on an actual incident the at the motel, where we stayed.
Oh,
Apparently, it had rained, or I don't know what happened, but it was right on the bay, and woke up in the morning, and there were these trails of water on the floor. And I thought, how did they get there? I don't remember this. And so the whole idea of being visited secretly at night sort of
yeah.
inspired me to go with this.
Well, and how do you find your poems come to you? Is it more you have to be immersed in the moment, or it's something you've experienced and then you go back and you reflect on it?
Well, I always tell people I'm not a prolific poet. If I were working 60 hours a week, I would write 10 to 12 poems a year.
Hmm.
If I'm working 0 hours a week, I will write 10 to 12 poems a year. I'm a firm believer that whatever it is I'm dealing with takes its time to work through my body. I can feel them coming. There's just this sense you get that there's something I need to wrestle with, but they're there, but I don't know what it is and how to approach it. And that's where I look outside. I look for that metaphor or that image. There'll be something in the world. And the minute I see it, that's what I can hang the poem on. It's like
Yeah.
when I saw the trail of water going out to the room, out to the dock, and we had not walked out there. And it wasn't like swimming suits or anything. That was the metaphor. And the minute I heard it, I knew what I had to hang this poem on. And that's
Okay.
usually how it works. I know I have a poem, but I don't know how I'm going to hang it to get it out in the way that I'd like. So
That's
I guess
interesting. It's so fascinating how people are inspired by different things and how they reflect on it, or if they act in the moment. So I'm really, yeah, it's fascinating to hear your story there.
mhm.
Well, Rodger, tell me, well, before we go into, talking a little bit about who is a good target audience for your book, let's talk a little bit about this holiday showcase. So the holiday showcase, if you're not familiar, it is a online featured showcase that we're running for New Hampshire Writer Project author members. It is on the website at nhwritersproject.org. You can see the ticker there running at the bottom of the screen. And Rodger's book is featured there, as well as about 54, 55 other authors. And it's just a wonderful place to go and shop and support the literary community, support local businesses. All of our authors are local businesses. And it makes really unique gifts. So while we're on that subject, Rodger, tell me a little bit about who would really treasure your book. If someone's thinking about, that person in their life and this book would be great for them.
Yeah, I think I like to think of it as wide ranging. I saw one blurb that it's a lighthearted look, and there are lighthearted poems like the Sleeping Dogs of Lubec. There's one about Molly Ryder, in which she asks for criticism on workshopping on her poem, and of course, when she gets it, she's not happy with it, and that sort of thing. But there are also really difficult poems because
Okay.
for me, the holiday season isn't always about hanging tinsel on a tree. There's some brutal things that happen and so there are poems that deal with it. The book's divided into chapters. One of them's title is The Dire Wolves, and the other is Dogs of War chapter. So that I like to think it's a healthy way to look at life around the holidays and remind us that we can get there even through some of the harder things that we have to experience, and that there's both sides of that. So I guess I would like to think that I would not call it necessarily a children's book.
Okay.
I think it's for not necessarily adults, but I think older high school students, young, adults and thinkers,
Okay.
whatever age they are.
Okay.
And they love, for me, poetry is also is music. And I just have a lot of fun with sound. To me, that's what separates that poetry from prose oftentimes, is that rhythm and music.
Well, and I can see that because the way you delivered the poem, it was very rhythmic, and it's obvious that you've done a lot of that and you've gotten that down to a science.
I've been lucky. My mother was British, and my father was an American. They met in World War II, and I grew up in the Amish country of Pennsylvania. So I was sort of a product of three languages: American English, British English, and Pennsylvania German. And I think it gave me a keen ear for sound, because you sort of, as a child, have to figure out what everybody is saying differently. And so that's always been an important part of language for me to play with.
Oh, that's fascinating. Well, and if you're interested in learning more about Rodger, you can go to his website directly at rodgerwriter.com. You can also purchase his book through the showcase on our website, nhwritersproject.org. And Rodger, if they go to your website, can they also see your other poetry collections as well?
Yes, all the books are on a page in the website, and there's a link. Nature Culture Press, which is now publishing, has all my books available.
Okay.
So that you can if you go to the website, you can click on the links, and they'll take you to the pages at Nature Culture where you could order the book as well.
Oh,
so
perfect.
It's available that way. Used to be originally it was Hobblebush, but Hobblebush, of course, is no longer.
Yeah, I know. I used to work with Hobblebush back in the day. Yeah.
I just love that.
A great organization. Yeah.
Times change.
Yep,
and
they do.
At least I'm getting older. So
we all are, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, Rodger, before we part ways, is there anything additional you feel that listeners should know about you or about your books?
I always believe let the words do the talking.
I love that.
Just go with that. I think that's plenty. All the books are different in many ways. So check them out.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you for taking time to be with me here today to share a little bit about your book and for being in the holiday showcase. I appreciate it. And thank you to our listeners as well. We hope you have a wonderful holiday, and stay tuned for more author live broadcasts coming up. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, and happy holidays.